Hey guys, it's Mike and Matty. Today we're talking about active recall. It's one of the best scientifically proven strategies that you can use to learn effectively and get the best grades possible. So we'll talk about what it is, and then we'll give you 3 ways that you can use it in your studies.
And if you're not already, definitely subscribe to the channel for weekly productivity and study tips.
So active recall is a method for remembering information. It requires you to have your notes in a format with questions and answers. And it's pretty simple. What you do is you look at only the questions and try to remember what the answer is. So let's break down the meaning of active recall into its individual words. So recall is the act of retrieving information from your brain. And this means that you've already seen this information before, and now you're just trying to remember it. And active refers to doing this from memory without peeking at your notes or your textbooks. So the active portion is also very important because it's difficult to do. It requires a lot of cognitive effort and brain power. So the opposite of active would be passive learning. And an example of a passive learning strategy would be rereading your notes, because you're literally reading what is there on your page of notes and you can see all the answers. So your brain isn't working hard to try to recall that information. So it's pretty clear, right, that active recall is way better than rereading your notes. Yet so many students are still just rereading their notes in order to study for their tests. And this is incredibly inefficient. So our goal by the end of this video is to give you a very clear plan on how you can use active recall today in your study sessions.
There are many ways you can go about using active recall, and you can really choose whichever one suits you best. We'll give you 3 examples here. So the first method is if you're a hand note taker. So what you're gonna do is just split your page up into 2 columns. On the left column, you're gonna write questions based on your reading and your studies. And on the right side of the page, you're gonna write the answers to those questions. Now, when you go to review, all you have to do is cover up the right side of the page, read the question on the left, and you'll be using active recall to practice these questions. The second method is if you like to use digital spreadsheets, like Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets. And this is a tip that I actually picked up from one of my favorite YouTubers, Ali Abdaal, and I think it works great. It's basically the same as the previous example by making 2 columns, a question and answer, but better because you can also incorporate spaced repetition, which is another study method. To use active recall, you highlight all the answer columns and turn the font color to white. And this way, you bleach out the answers and you only have the questions. And then you can practice answering the questions from memory. And to check your answers, simply turn the answer columns back into a different color. And to use spaced repetition, you color code the questions. For example, if I wanted to study some questions 1 day from now, I would label them all as red. And then for the ones I review 3 days from now, I would put them as green. And that way, I know exactly which ones I need to study each day. We are huge supporters of moving our studies online for ease of accessibility and syncing. Plus, you can't beat the power of digital organization. And for a more in-depth walkthrough of this example, we can leave a link to Ali Abdaal's video in our description. So the third method is our favorite, which is using flashcards. Flashcards were designed exactly for active recall because unless you have superhuman vision, you can't see the other side for clues. But we want to emphasize that you should be making digital flashcards for the same reason as before, moving your studies online, making them more accessible and organized. We don't recommend making paper flashcards because it takes too much time, too much space, and they aren't nearly as effective. So the program that we specifically love to use is called RemNote. It has a really great interface for note-taking, which automatically turns your notes into flashcards. It also has a spaced repetition software built into it and an incredibly good search function to find any piece of information you need instantly. So this basically makes your traditional notes obsolete. Other more traditional flashcard-only apps to consider are Anki or Quizlet. And we made a video comparing the 2, which you can find right up here. As you can imagine, active recall works extremely well if you actually write good questions. So mastering good note-taking skills while studying will enhance your ability to use active recall. Methods like SQ3R, which we'll link right up here, are also a great way to start if you want to see how Mike and I approach reading textbooks and lectures.
So to sum up active recall, it all comes down to using more cognitive effort to stimulate your memory. You're training your brain to retrieve information exactly like how it's going to happen on the day of the test. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to visit mikeandmatty.com. We have a whole library of free study guides and ebooks for you to download. And if you have used Active Recall before, let us know in the comments below, share with us your thoughts, and help other students and viewers see that Active Recall really is one of the best study strategies. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed that video. Give it a thumbs up because it really helps us out. And if you want to see more, click on the red subscribe button down here or the circle up here.
Check out our website or check out our Instagram, links in the description below. And check out these videos over here. We think you might enjoy them.
And we'll see you next time.